Okay, so today we're going to be working on LeetCode number 27, remove element. Let's take a quick look at the prompt as well as an example to see how we can get started with this. Given an integer array nums and an integer val, remove all occurrence of val in nums. This prompt says in place. The order of the elements may be changed, then return the number of elements in nums which are not equal to val. And they are saying that it's going to be called k, and that would be an example output. Consider the number of elements in nums which are not equal to val be k. To get accepted, you need to do the following things. Change the array nums such that the first k elements of nums contain the elements which are not equal to val. The remaining elements of nums are not important. The size of nums is also not important. So let's go to our example a little bit closer. Here you can see that we are provided an array and called nums and a val, which is equal to 2. And what we do then is we remove all the values equal to 2 from nums. These guys go away. Bop, bop, bop. The remaining values are then shifted over to the left. And the remaining values of nums are unimportant. In fact, the length of nums is also unimportant at this point. The prompt says that the function return k with the first 5 elements of nums containing 0, 0, 1, 3, and 4 in any order, and the remaining elements, either there or not, doesn't matter. So let's go to the blackboard and see how we might solve this. Okay, so welcome to the blackboard. Here you can see I've written down our nums, we've written down our val, and we've written down the expected output of 5 as well as nums containing 0, 1, 4, 0, and 3. Now, the way that I'm going to be implementing this in Clojure, I'm not going to be updating nums in place. Rather, I am going to be returning a new array or a new vector. And essentially what the plan is we're going to be reading into, we're going to be filtering out the value provided from nums, and then we are going to return a vector containing both the count of nums as well as the count of the new array as well as the value of that new array in any order. That's the plan. Let's see how it would look in the code. Okay, so before we get to the solution, let's take a quick look at the tests that have been created, which differ somewhat to the prompt from LeetCode. In this case, instead of just returning k, we are going to be returning a vector of k plus the new vector. And in order to ensure that we don't care about the order of the nums, we added a little helper function called sort second element. So when we call remove element and we pass 3, 2, 2, 3, and 3, well, in this case, that doesn't matter, but in this one, 0, 1, 2, 2, 3, 0, 4, 2, and 2, we will take the result, which will in this case be 0, 1, 3, 0, 4, and we're going to sort it and compare against that. So it doesn't matter what the result is, what order the result is, we're going to ensure that the values inside of it are correct. And so that's just a bit of background for the test that I've created for this. But now let's get to the actual implementation. Okay, so welcome to the Clojure solution. We can see that our function remove element is already present, and I am already connected up to the REPL. You can see it down there below. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a comment block, and in the comment block I'm going to create some test values to help us along the way as we are building out our functions. So we will do def val, and the val is going to be 2. And we will evaluate that, and then we'll do our nums, and our nums is going to be 0, 1, 2, 2, 3, 0, 4, 2. And we are then going to call remove element and provide it nums as well as val. When we evaluate this, we get nil. And now we can start with the implementation. So the implementation that we want to do, we know that we want to use filter. Let's take a look a little bit at how filter works. If we go to the definition of it, we can see that it wants to take a predicate and a collection. So it's going to be working on a function and a collection of values. And here we are doing a count x of 1 equals count x of 1. So we go through this vector here, and we're going to take the a, ignore that, filter that guy out, b, n, f, filter that guy out, q, filter that guy out. And so we are going to be keeping the things that match the function. And so in this case, we want to keep the things that are not equal to the value provided. So in order to do that, we would use the not equal function. And you can see that here, not equal 0, 0 is false, not equal 1, 0 is true. And we'll be doing something along the lines of not equal 0, 0, yeah. But this is not going to work because we want to be working on a collection, and not is doing a comparison of one value against multiple values. And so we want to use filter, and we want to pass back a function here. To pass back a function here, what we're going to want to do is we can't provide that last argument, so we're going to use partial in this case. So not equal to 0, and if we do 0, 1, 2, 3, 0, 1, 0, you can see now we will pull out all the values, or we keep the values that are not equal to 0. And it looks like we are getting back a list. And so in order to get that back to a vector, we can always do something like that. But actually there is another function called filter v, which is going to do the same thing. So this looks like the general idea of what we want to be doing, or what we want to be using. So we're going to go ahead and put that up in here. We're going to do filter v, a partial of not equal to val in this case, and nums. And if we go here and we run remove element nums val, you can see that we have indeed removed all of the 2's from our vector, and we are returning a vector. But again, remove element, we want to be returning k. So what we want to do then is we want to do a count of that value. But instead of doing it twice, let's only do it once. So we're going to go and create a let binding, and we're going to call it result, and the result is going to be this guy here. And then we will return result and a count of result. There we are. We evaluate that, and then when we come here, we evaluate it. We can see that the count is 5, and our vector is 0, 1, 3, 0, 4, which is what we expect. So it looks like that should be it. Let's head on over to our test suite and see how it looks. Okay, so now we have written the code, We have checked it inside of our REPL to see that it works at least with our given example. Let's check it against our test cases that we've built here and see if our edge cases are also covered well. We go here, run the tests, and there you go. 5 paths, no fails, no errors. Everything looks good. So there you have it. Our solution for removing characters is this right here. Receive nums, receive val, and then we calculate a result. The result is going to be a partial of the values that are not equal to the provided value, and we're going to filter on that across the nums vector. Then we go and we respond with a vector containing the count of the result as well as the result itself. So hope that was interesting for you. If you have any questions, comments, please leave them down below, and I will see you again next time. Thank you. Bye.